Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. I Googled the names of God. I said, what are the names of God? And I found many different sites about different names of God in the Bible. One I found said there's 100 names of God in the Bible. Another said there's 72. Some of the examples were God is my rock, God is a rock, God is a healer, God is a provider, God is a creator, He's the maker, on and on and on. What name of God do you comes to your mind when I say what name would you give to God? They're all descriptors of God's character, different aspects of His character. So it's interesting to see so many different names of God. And King David, the one who killed Goliath, knew many of the names of God. And the way you get to know the names of God is when you use them in a situation appropriate to that name. You know God as a healer, for example, when you've been sick, you pray for God to heal you, and He heals you. So you know God as your healer and your Savior. You know Him as your Savior when you turn your life to Jesus and you become saved. You know Him as your Savior. So those are just examples. But David knew God in this way that, in my opinion, we all need to know God in this way, because we will need to call on Him. Here's the situation. In Psalm 63, David was in the desert. The desert. The desert is a place where there's no help. There's no food. There's no water. There's nothing around. And he's running for his life, and people are trying to kill him. He has enemies seeking to kill him. But David knew God as his helper, as his helper. That's a very personal name of God in the Bible, a helper. God, you're my helper. It's not a name we would normally think of God, but God is a helper. And this is what David says in Psalm 63, verse 7 through 8. Because you are my help. So he's calling God's name helper, not healer, not savior, but helper. You are my help, and He's my help. It's personal to Him. He's called out to God when he's been in trouble, when he's been in situations, and God has rescued him from those troubles. So he knows God is his help. So he said, because you are my help, I sing in the shadow of your wings. He's in a bad place. But he can sing. Why? Because he knows God is his helper. He knows God personally as his helper. Your right hand upholds me. In other words, God keeps him in this troubling situation he's in the desert where there is no help. God is his help. And you may be in a situation today where you look around and say, there is no help. I want you to know that God can be your helper. Do what David did and call out to Him. God is a helper. Do you know God as your helper? When you get overwhelmed, you can't figure it out. You don't need guidance. You don't need direction. You're already following Jesus. You don't need a savior in that moment, in that sense. You just cry for help. It's like when you're drowning, you go, help. God is the helper. He's waiting to help you whatever you need. Psalm 46, verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. God is a help in trouble. I'll never forget that Psalm 46:1, because when 9/11 happened, which was on a Tuesday, I was actually working on a message for Sunday, and when I learned what happened, saw what happened, I changed my message, and the psalm I picked was Psalm 46 verse 1. God is our helper. We're in an overwhelming situation. We don't know the way out. We don't know what's going to happen. All I can do is call to my helper. He knows. He knows the way out. I don't. I just need help. I need help. And of course, Hebrews 13:6 says, so we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? So, my friends, learn that God is your helper. And when you can't do anything else, and it feels like the waters are rising above your head, yell out to God, your helper, and He will reach His hand down, and He will help you and put your feet on a rock, a solid rock. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow.